There are all different kinds of chamber music groups out there. I think the most common, of course, is the string quartet, or perhaps you'll have a string trio where you'll have 2 string instruments and piano. It's super interesting to have a woodwind instrument playing with a stringed instrument, playing with a harp, which is kind of its own category.
Well, the first piece that was written for this group of its kind was the Debussy Trio by Claude Debussy, and he wrote that in about 1915. I don't know why composers hadn't used that combination of instruments before, but it opened a whole new world, and all these composers just started using these 3 instruments together. I don't think they realized how amazing they would go together.
For those that are well acquainted with chamber music and have heard it many times, perhaps they wouldn't have heard our particular instrumentation play a given work. And for those that are kind of new to classical music, all of our programs are geared towards being very accessible to the listener. We explain maybe what the composer had in mind, and we talk about it beforehand. And I feel like that really draws people in.
I'm a harpist in the Washington, D.C. area. I'm also the founder of Beau Soir Ensemble, and I started the group because I love chamber music.
I play flute with Beau Soir, and I also play piccolo and flute with the National Symphony Orchestra.
I'm a violist in the National Symphony Orchestra, as well as with Beau Soir Trio.
At noon, I have about from noon to 3. Beau Soir means beautiful evening in French. It also actually is the name of a piece written by Claude Debussy. It was written for voice and piano originally, and it was to great acclaim that he wrote this piece. And actually, we've had the chance to perform the piece for flute, viola, and harp.
Carole just asked me, would you be interested in playing in my trio? Next thing you know, I started rehearsing, and I just fell in love with how the 3 of us got along, the repertoire. It's been just an absolutely wonderful journey.
We're super small, so we're able to perform anywhere. We can perform inside a house. We perform in these beautiful historic mansions in Washington, D.C. We've been able to perform at the Millennium Stage. So we're really flexible, we're really adaptable. We can go anywhere and play anywhere. The audience is up close, they're personal, so they can actually see our fingers move, they see how our instruments move, they see how they work.
And we go to many places where they say, I've never seen a harp up close. And I just think it's a unique experience for the listener. There is a big difference of playing in a large orchestra and a small ensemble. One analogy I could think of is when you're playing with the big ensemble, it's kind of like a big novel, reading a big novel. And playing in a small ensemble, like Beau Soir, is kind of like poetry.
For some of the modern pieces that we play, in some cases we've been lucky enough to actually know the composer or know that they are here on the planet somewhere, and our harpist, Michelle, is very diligent about pursuing contact with them. And so we like to summarize some of what we have learned from the composer about the piece and explain those to the audience.
Music is really interesting because my whole goal in life is just to keep playing. If I don't play, if I go for weeks when I don't play, I think I don't feel balanced.
My love of music began at a very early age. I grew up in Germany, and classical music has in some ways a very different place in society than here. So music making is just part of the pulse of everyday life there.
Music to me is breathing. It's air. It's absolutely essential to everything in my life.